But I believe there's more potential to be where I want to be from the US environment, right? So what did I do? I cried.
Wow.
I remember I would shut the door, so that my family does not see me, right? I cried, prayed, and an idea came to my mind on that very day. So what I did was when I was in school, um, I realized things were not fine financially. And I had been interviewed for a manager, mergers and acquisitions role, but was unsuccessful. Then I asked the recruitment manager why I was unsuccessful. He did not respond. So I realized on my own that they had asked me a question if I needed sponsorship. I said I didn't need sponsorship. So I realized that it was an issue of documentation. So I was quick to change my documentation in the US so that I would have the ability to work independently. So I had an idea on not at that stage. I didn't have an idea. I didn't have money, but now about to get I have an authorization to work now, right? Now, having acquired the authorization to work anyhow, right? I cried because I still didn't have a job.
Yeah.
I cried and prayed. Then an idea came. Then I started assisting, guiding others, because I'm not practicing as an attorney in the US yet, right? But I started guiding others, right? Just giving them non-legal advice and all that on how they can fix their paperwork. Then I started making money that way.
So that's the first thing that you had to go into, after having experienced this, I would say the struggling phase of trying to get things going and starting up.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's what gave me the money to buy the two cars I bought, right?
Okay.
So what happened then was um, I started doing that. It wasn't paying a lot of money, but it was giving me somewhat some money, right? Um, enough to deposit for the cars. But prior to depositing for the cars, I had moved from one state to the other, a more cheaper state. So having transitioned to a more cheaper state, I started looking for a job. The job I found was as a factory worker. I even have pictures of myself wearing those hats, and
It
so I
must have
started
been an
working.
experience, eh?
Oh my word. I worked as a factory worker.
Yeah.
I remember when I started working there as a factory worker, we went the first week, right? My wife worked only a day. She said,
I'm
not for
okay with
me.
this.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. Yeah. So I said, no, fine, fine. You can
Yeah.
go, you can be at home. I will work. I worked. Then that's when I bought the cars, put the cars on DoorDash, right? Asked my wife to drive the one and I can I can drive the other on DoorDash. My wife again said,
Not for me.
so I
Yeah.
started doing both the factory job and because remember, as a man, at the end of the day, it's my responsibility to take care of the family. The responsibility is not upon her, right?
Mm,
Also, she has a medical condition, right, which inhibits her from overworking like that, so I understood. She
mm,
had an epidural injection at her back when she gave birth, and therefore she
mm,
cannot really, work such jobs, right? So,
mm,
pushing her to work such jobs would only make her condition worse,
mm, mm,
right? So I started doing both jobs, and
mm.
then God was merciful to me that I started getting a few more clients.
Yeah.
Then I realized that whatever I was getting from the factory job
Mm.
is less than what I was getting from DoorDash.
Okay.
So I was now a full-time dasher, delivering food for people and
Mm.
all that. I was doing that full time now from morning to morning,
Wow.
right? Um, then afterwards, when I started getting more clients, then that's when I realized that now my job requires more attention uh, from me.
Mm.
That's when I stopped doing DoorDash.
Okay.
But I also got a job. I also had gotten another job at a tax consulting firm,
Mm-hmm.
right? As a tax consultant, I still work there, but I only work January to April during tax season, and then I can focus on my things after tax season.
Okay.
So that's the story.
Wow.
That's the
That-
story.
it actually it's showing that you're rebuilding and you coming back up again. What's it's when you started explaining that you worked in a factory, having worked as a CFO, you have been like a CEO, you've had companies and everything, and now you are in a factory. It actually reminds me at one point how I used to work in a restaurant, cleaning up the front. They would say that they call it the front of house. You're cleaning up and all this other stuff. But again, inside, you understand yourself and you know what you're capable of. So I'm
Yes,
thinking maybe when you're going through that, you know that if you look at systems, you see them differently. And
certainly.
to some extent, you understand that you'll be different in no time. Right.
Yeah,
So
certainly.
yeah. So that must have been an experience. But I do have this other side of me that says all these things happen to probably teach you certain lessons that you can never be able to sort of like understand and explain if you didn't go through that. If you listen
Yeah,
to a lot of
certainly.
stories about many millionaires today, they'll tell you that they would lose 250 million coming back to zero and they would bounce back to billions. So
Yes.
as you speak of this, I'm actually starting to see the similar pattern of coming from somewhere at the top, you go back to zero. Now all of a sudden the steps to going back up are beginning to shape up. So that's I would say congratulations, man. It looks like you have already come back up again. You refuse to stay down, eh?
Oh, thank you so much. I hope so. It's not easy, like what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Mm,
It gives you certain lessons of resilience. It gives you
mm,
certain lessons that you do what you have to do when you have to do it. If you have to work in a factory, at some point, it's necessary to, to sustain a living and to ensure that you remain relevant,
Yeah.
So right
As the
now,
always. Uh-huh.
yeah, so right now I've started a business, a consulting business again.
Mm.
I've started to employ people, and we are developing the first ever MBA in applied energy management
Mm.
with um, with regional with a regional touch and a global touch, right? And this is with companies in South Africa and with my US based company.
Mm.
So, as much as we are still crawling,
Mm.
right, we are not saying it's over. We are,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's a powerful move. As they always say, you are never poor. You just didn't have money. That's all it
exactly.
was.
Yeah,
You know, all those.
certainly.
Yeah. No, that's
Certainly.
an
That's a very
interesting
powerful
story.
statement.
Yeah, I mean, but look, in everything that you do, man, I wish you the best, and I really wish you strength. And you have already shown that the tenacity that you have shown so far, it's something that we all wish we had in most of the things we do. But I think we coming up, you have been an example to many of us, including your students. You know, even now they're still looking forward to seeing you somewhere bigger. And I think that we're saying that not to put pressure on you, but to actually say we admire the work that you've done, and also we expect bigger things to come out of you. So we're looking forward to all those big things. And
Thank you so
as